It's here, the first major video game release of 2024, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It's not quite matching that same level of notoriety as last fall's stacked slate of releases, but it is coming out swinging as a surprisingly good Metroidvania that some people are even calling an early Game of the Year contender. Ubisoft gave me free early access to the game, and I can confidently say that 13 hours in, it's a great spot to dive into the series for anyone who's a first-time Prince of Persia player like me. One comment I got last week on a review roundup video caught my eye, with someone saying that the game looks bad and the graphics look like Fortnite. I put up a post on Threads that received some attention and drove some interesting conversations on graphics in games, and I thought it'd make a good video. I said hyper-realistic Unreal Engine 5 graphics don't make a game good any more than a simpler artistic design or art design make a game bad. Good gameplay, good performance, and good stories are what matter, and Prince of Persia nails all three. Most people agreed, but a few people stood their ground and said that the art design wasn't for them, and that's a totally fair take. What I worry about is the idea that a game is only good if it looks realistic. That's not the way that most people think today, just looking at games like Lethal Company rising to the top of the Steam charts, but the idea is definitely there outside of the smaller communities online, and for good reason. Most of the big releases that come out year after year are absolutely stunning. Swinging Through New York and Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is basically the closest thing you'll get to real life outside of a movie. The latest Resident Evil remakes are all cranking up the horror to 10 with how good the games look on modern hardware. But good graphics don't automatically make good games. Forspoken came out on PS5 and PC in 2023 and was a visual showcase of what next-gen hardware was capable of. But it's clear that the game was actually an overgrown tech demo. It looked great, but for a lot of people the story and gameplay just weren't good enough to keep them dialed in for the full game. Atomic Heart was in a similar situation. Visually the game looks very impressive, but the combat wasn't hitting those same Bioshock beats that fans were really hoping for. At the same time, graphics still matter. NetherRealm found that out with Mortal Kombat 1. The game released on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC with the latest and greatest graphics that hit the expectation that players have for the latest hardware. But unfortunately, the game also came out on Nintendo Switch, a piece of 2016 hardware that is showing every bit of its age for most games that aren't first-party from Nintendo. The Switch port of Mortal Kombat 1 was still technically the same game, but those undercooked visuals immediately got panned by critics and fans, not only because they were bad, but because the game's art direction depended on the visuals being good. That's the key part. It all boils down to art direction. A game like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown leans into its cartoonish art style in the same way that Fortnite does, and it's all the better for it. The game is targeting 4K 120 FPS across PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, while every version, including the Nintendo Switch, is targeting at least 60 FPS. For a game with as much fast-paced platforming as this, those frames are definitely an important part of the overall experience. They chose an art style that matched their vision and their story, and that was able to deliver the performance that this type of game needs to have to stand tall alongside this crowded collection of today's most popular Metroidvanias. The big takeaway here is that games with ultra-realistic graphics aren't always good, and games with a simpler style aren't always bad. Gameplay, performance, and story are king, and games that nail all three, regardless of what they look like, are the ones that stand out from their competition. But let me know down below, what matters the most to you in the games that you play? And if you're new here on the channel and you enjoy what you see or what you hear, hit that subscribe button for videos like this every week and gaming news shorts throughout the week to keep you in the loop. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.